Welcome to our 52,272,000 square foot nutrition center, the home of the checkerboard. 1,200 acres of working farmland where we serve 3,000 animals every day to make each one the best they can be. It's more than a nutrition center. It's a 1,200-acre foundation for integrity, innovation, performance, and quality. The proof is in the numbers. Over 20,000 studies and more than 100 patents to perfect taste, nutrition, digestion, and performance. That's over 85 years of continuous learning, and it won't stop anytime soon. More than 100 employees in the pursuit of animal excellence year-round. We stand proudly with the checkerboard. It represents the 100 million animals we feed every day, and the reason we never stop striving to deliver what they need to grow and thrive, to produce and win. The proof is in the numbers. And it begins here with us. 1,200 acres, 9 squares, 1 commitment. Look for the checkerboard. It's the only check you need.
Jeff Bressler, Jerry Hargis back again in Leon, Iowa at the Decatur County Fairgrounds. We just completed a little while ago, Jerry, the Yearling Buck and Bull competition, Midwest Buck and Bull Association. We're going to move into a couple of moments to the futurity. We now have the results from the Yearling competition, and it's one of these events where if you were here at the beginning and then you decided to walk around the fairgrounds for an hour or so and come back at the end, you wouldn't have missed much action because it was all pretty heavily loaded towards the front and back end. And, Jerry, you're pretty accurate in the way you were evaluating the bulls. The winner was Jason Marbury's 13X Purina Athlete, 84.5 points, $399 from Three Sons Farm, second, 84 1/4. Then the two Backlund bulls that ended the show, Twisted 83, White Snake 82, and another one of the Marbury entries, Bull 138, scored 80 and 3/4 points to finish fifth. So it was a pretty good yearling competition.
Yeah, some nice young bulls, they jumped out there and turned back right there. We didn't see anything, just what you call rank. Maybe because these bulls have been trucked up and down the road quite a bit here lately. Earlier in the events, we heard of some 90s and 88s, but overall, good set of bulls. Like I say, right there in the middle, kind of got a little off, or some bulls kind of got lost in here and there. But the bulls at the front, bulls at the back really jumped out there and performed good today.
Moving now, 45 entries, which is, to me, is a fantastic entry list for an event that's taking place in the Midwest Buck and Bull Association. 45 2-year-olds to go.
Yeah, and as we look through the list, there ought to be some really good bulls. And, like I say, in part of the country that doesn't get huge numbers, but for the overall event to get over 100 bulls, I think is really good.
So we'll be back in just about 5 minutes with the start of the futurity competition. Once again, Buck and Bull TV in Leon, Iowa, for Midwest Buck and Bull Association action at the Decatur County Fairgrounds. Back on Buck and Bull TV, Jeff Bressler along with Jerry Hargis. As you see, Jason Marbury getting his check for winning the yearling competition here with his real nice bull 13X, scored 84 and a half, $1,305 payout. Paid here 8 deep today, 24% to the winner, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 7, and 6% down the line to the 8th hole. So getting ready to start here as action starting to intensify around the chutes. Once again, we will have 45 bulls going in the 2-year-old competition. Mixture of bulls that have been competing on a regular basis in the Midwest Buck and Bull Association, along with some bulls that have gone on to go to some of the bigger events for UBBI. Even some bulls here have competed in ABBI competition. So a good mixture of bulls for our second event of today here in Leon, Iowa. Later on this afternoon at 5:55 Central Time, we'll be back with the Classic Derby, Futurity, and the all under the auspices of Donnie Gay Bull Riding Championship. 45 bull riders in town here in Leon to compete later today.
Hey, Jeff, as we step into this next category, the 2-year-olds, I think the competition will step up and get even a little bit better. You know, these bulls have another year under their belt, a little more season, and like we mentioned earlier, there's been some really, really good 2-year-old bulls come out of this part of the country. So I think we're going to see a really fantastic set of 45 right here.
So getting ready to put the dummy on the first bull in the 2-year-old competition, the futurity competition. At a left-hand delivery, it's going to be 215 American Pride, owned by Just Have Faith and Flying Spade. 2 bulls entered for the Flying Spade Just Have Faith combination.
Still fantastic weather we're having. It's heated up just a tad bit, but, you know, really and truly you can't ask for much of a better day to buck bulls, and especially, you know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon in July. It's usually going to be pretty warm no matter where you're at, but right now it's right in the 80s, a little overcast, just beautiful weather. So we're getting ready to load the first bull and get ready to go.
Probably just around the mid-70s here in Leon. Once again, this Midwest Buck and Bull event being done in conjunction with the annual Decatur County Fair. I see a bunch of bulls entered here today by Cord McCoy. Had the opportunity to do an interview with Cord during a break between the Yearling Futurity and the 2-year-old event. You'll have the opportunity to see that in the post-produced version of today's competitions.
Well, first bull out of the box didn't have a great day. He had a ton of kick come out there. I thought we was liable to see a pretty good one. We'll see the replay here in a second here, but it just didn't get anything going in the spin category. Right there, you can't ask someone to kick much harder, but then he kind of just quits and spits a bit, as they say, and didn't have a good day. So first bull out, not going to get a paycheck today, and hopefully they, Just the Faith, have 2 bulls in there, so maybe the second one will be a little bit better.
So as mentioned, Just the Faith having 2 bulls entered today. Next one coming up is brand 282.
283 is going to be the next bull.
So we'll see if the Just Have Faith Flying Spade combo could make amends here after the weak start of this event with American Pride. 282 up next.
Our first bull out has already been named, so you're thinking he's kind of earned his name.
That's got some history to him, yeah.
Second bull doesn't have a name, so hopefully for them as the owners, this bull will step out and do good enough today. He earns himself a name and does good for his owners.
Now, there are some pretty big operations, Jerry, like the pages immediately come to mind, where they use no matter how good a bull gets, they'll continue to use that brand number throughout the bull's career.
Yeah, exactly.
Weren't here to join us this morning in our yearling division. I want to welcome y'all. Make sure to tell your friends.
I think there's going to be another one they keep on using his brand for right now. He didn't earn himself a name today, but just a calf that kind of comes out there, watch this replay, doesn't get any kick, doesn't get any spin, has a little bit of jump up in the air, but he's lacking so much in the other categories that's really not going to carry him very far today. So unfortunately, a bad day for Just Have Faith and Flying Spade Bucking Bulls there.
Coming up next, going to be Bull 25, Billy Jack, owned by the Up North Cattle Company. They had a bull entered in the yearling competition named Lucky. Didn't luck out there, but we'll see if Billy Jack could do a little better for Up North.
Up North Cattle Company are those guys that show up and take advantage of all four categories. They brought a yearling, a 2-year-old, a classic bull, and so it's really a great opportunity when you've got so many classifications. If you're going to go ahead and make the trip and drive to an event, it's great to have a bull that can compete at each level.
Cord McCoy, a busy guy here, has got a number of autograph signings later this afternoon in the Leon area. How come nobody asks us to sign autographs? Who's Cord McCoy? Oh, that's right. He's a named personality.
Yeah, I know. I'm not as famous as him.
So getting ready with the third bull of the afternoon. Oh, unlucky break there.
Extremely unlucky. That's a big, stout bull right there. He looks really good for a 2-year-old. And I didn't see exactly what happened from up here. We're quite a ways from the bucking shoes, but it looks like he may have been leaning a tad on that chute gate when he opened it. So when it did, it's just, really, really bad start. I mean, you just, no way you can come back from that and score and place and win any money there.
And what we always say, Jerry, is when you know a bull is going to live to see another day is what you see in Billy Jack here is. And it did look like he was leaning on the chute and fell out, but as soon as he went down, he got back up again and wanted to get to business.
Yeah, I think they definitely have potential on that bull.
Next bull, as we continue from the left-hand side of things, 203, Grand Auctions Bill, owned by Taylor Butte Bucking Bulls. This bull, third top in money in the 2014 Midwest Bucking Bull Association standings. Won in Elroy, Wisconsin with 86-point score. So a bull with some history coming up next. 203 Grand Auctions Bell. Taylor Butte with back-to-back entries here. Man, nice bull, went out and did his job.
A really nice bull right there. He may be a tick off that 86 that he scored the last event to do good there, but I tell you, he's not going to be just really far off. Should be, right there in that mid-80s. A nice, solid bull, steps right there, kicks over his head, spins right there. Just can't ask for a bull to be just a good, solid, across-the-board bull right there.
Man, that first shot of that bull kicking over his head, that's a real money shot for a photographer. Nice job for Grand Auctions Bill. Coming up next, bull 218, Tobacco Garden, also owned by Taylor Butte Bucking Bulls. Back-to-back, two great names for bulls, Grand Auctions Bill and Tobacco Garden.
They must have some good sponsors naming these bulls right there. It's a good thing about this industry. These bulls get so much exposure and publicity going up and down the road and a lot of events, and like Bucking Bull TV, they can be on kind of nationally televised and get you sponsored here. They pay you a little bit of money and offer to name their bull for them and then get that business out there.
Well, Tobacco Garden laying down in the chute. See if Taylor Butte could put together 2 back-to-back nice performances here. Hey, they've come to compete, that's for sure.
Hey, he wants it.
Yeah, not a bad bull right there. Just takes him a while to get out there. As you'll notice, the buzzer is going to be a little longer on these bulls. It's going to be close to that 6 seconds, whereas this morning they's at 4. So they've got a little more time to get into a buck and show the judges what they've got. But this guy still, it took a little bit too long. And right here, when he starts to turn back, you're already getting into that 5 and 6 second mark. So, didn't get the show really good for the judges, but really good, solid bull overall.
Going into 3 bulls now for single shot bucking bulls. First bull is going to be M2H with the name of Tank. So we continue on the left side. Sun coming out here in Leon, Iowa now. As mentioned, right around the mid-70s, just perfect outdoor weather, very little wind. It's a real nice day.
It showed earlier in the week we had a chance of rain here, and they had some rain last weekend, so hopefully kind of got it all out of their system, and turned out just to be a fantastic, beautiful day here.
And, of course, during the summer when you have all these outdoor events at the mercy of the weather, last week, huge crowd in Gallup, New Mexico for the 2 days that we were there. Beautiful outdoor arena right in a canyon in Red Rock State Park, but just threatening skies the whole time. A couple of real torrential downpours that just turned everything into mud, and I think we were just amazed at the grounds crew that they had in Red Rock. I mean, that was thick in mud about an hour and a half before showtime, and they just scraped that arena and laid down some new dirt, and you wouldn't have even thought it rained.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen an arena crew that do a good job, and especially that quick. I mean, it was just amazing what they were able to do. I think by the bucket chute is about 6 inches deep in water, and by the time showtime, I mean, the arena was just perfect, pristine condition.
Just talking about the bull riders, we had 90 bull riders last week, and just commenting on how tough it is to find really quality bull riders in this day and age. And I was talking to Cord a little about tonight, 45 bull riders here, and you know when you're competing in maturity and classic and derby, you really want your bull to show a little for the judges because they're being scored, and it's just an ongoing dilemma to find really good bull riders. And Cord's alluding to the fact that he thinks more and more of these young guys are not taking it seriously, like looking at it like it's a potential career down the road.
Exactly right. So watch this next single shot bucking bulls. Look at his little slip right there and causes him to hesitate a little bit, but then gets up and tries to get back in the spin. Probably not going to score very good. Just barely cracking that 80 mark. But as you watch right here, that slip, he tried to kick out just a little too early. But then once he gets into it, kind of has a little bit of kick right there. He's just a tad slow and got a little bit of hesitation, but getting to that spin, good quality bull. As you're alluding to, Jeff, and Cord, I think you're exactly right. A lot of kids don't realize this is a huge paying business to be a bull rider these days, and I don't see a lot of the kids around there local, want to try to get on bulls, but they don't practice, they don't go to the gym, they don't work out, they don't do a lot of things that you need to do to really be a great bull rider.
Sounds like me. That's why I'm not a bull rider. It was just an interesting interview with Cord, and if you go when this is post-produced on Buck and Bull TV, you'll hear a large part of that interview. And I was also talking to Cord about how the average PBR fan, a guy like Cord, once he retires, you think that's it for the guy as a cowboy, that's it as a guy in the industry. And like Cord said, when he was out in the PBR, you'd go out once a week for 8 seconds, and the other almost full 7 days a week, your regular cowboy back on the ranch.
Yeah, exactly.
562 coming up next, second entry for single shot bucking bulls.
Kind of a wild little bull across there. It covers quite a bit of country, and again, one of those bulls that kind of waits a little bit too late to start spinning. You know, right there, that 6-second mark, he wants to try to turn back, but you know, for the judges, they can only mark what they see, and didn't get to see a lot from that calf.
So that was 562. Final bull for the single shot bucking bull is brand 200. Up to our eighth bull. So far, only one bull's really stood out from the crowd. That was the fourth bull out, Grand Auctions Bill. And again, he came into this competition today with a little history, sitting third top in money in the Midwest Buck and Bull Association 2014 standings.
As you mentioned earlier, they're going to have the MBBA finals in Valentine, Nebraska. Really a pretty good central location. You know, guys from Texas, Oklahoma, North Dakota are all going to probably show up, and just a great spot that, you know, it's going to be a little drive for some people, but, you know, really a good central location.
You know, in this sport, Jerry Hargis, and, you know, we've discussed a number of times how I was in the horse racing business in the past where you'd be racing for some pretty decent purses weekend, and we'll talk about that in just a second here as we look at 200.
Yeah, it's kind of a bad day for single shot bucking bulls. Didn't really have any of the three bulls perform good enough at all to win a paycheck, and this one definitely kind of went down the pin and didn't get anything going at all.
So that was 200. We're going to move over to the right side in just a second. Get things led off with 442 Upgrade, owned by Danny Lawson and Newton Cattle Company. That bull finished fifth in Elroy a little earlier in the season. But Jerry Hargis in the yearling competition paid $1,305 to win. And obviously that purse is structured, you know, through entry fees. And in the Midwest Buck and Bull Association, the entry fees, you're not going to charge a huge amount to bring these yearlings out. But Jerry, could you just, I mean, it doesn't make a difference. Bulls all eat the same amount. And what do you suspect? Say you had a whole several hundred miles. I mean, you got to travel, you got to feed your bull, you got to make your entry fees, you got to pay probably for a hotel. What do you think it costs to bring a bull out for the weekend to just show how much you just got to love the sport?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you know, just in truck expenses alone, it's going to be 75 cents to $1, counting your truck, trailer, tires, fuel, all that, you know. So you figure $1 a mile, you know, several hundred miles is going to add up pretty quick, and then it's hard to find a hotel for less than $100 a night, and you usually got to stay somewhere 2 nights. So, you know, you could easily add up a $1,000 bill going to these events, and then plus your entry fees, a couple $100. You know, it's a deal where you definitely got some money invested when you show up.
Once again, first bull out on the right-hand delivery here is Upgrade, finished fifth in Elroy.
Danny Lawson and Newton Cattle Company only got one futurity bull entered, so you would kind of think that this is going to be a pretty special bull to only have one. Pretty much putting all their eggs in one basket here in this futurity class.
They're putting all their eggs in one basket. Maybe they should have named the bull Grade A instead of Upgrade.
Having just a tad bit of trouble getting that flank tied off, but looks like we're getting really close to open the chute gate here.
Big rodeo held here in Leon, 4-day rodeo during the 4th of July weekend every year, and Cord McCoy talking to us a little about that before. Just packed the house here.
Knock the lights out, get it done.
There's one that kicked straight over his head almost every single jump, but didn't get that spin in there. So once again, you know, Bulls has got some tools, but didn't put that spin in there to really bring it all together. And a judge is just going to have a hard time in that category marking that bull too high if he can't get all 5 categories going, the spin being one of them.
So that was the one entry for Lawson and Newton Cattle Company. Up next, bull 200, brand 200. Another single entry, this one for owner Tim Schreiber.
Next is going to be 5 brand 200 from Tim Schreiber.
There's another bull named 200. We just had a bull branded 200 2 bulls ago, and you may be wondering why some of these bulls are the same. Well, when these are young calves at the ranch, everybody's kind of got their own numbering system, and a lot of them will start that first number as the year they were born in. So 2012, they'll start branding at 200. So every ranch has a different way of doing it, but 2 may be the same, and you could easily have 2 bulls the same number as we have here.
Again, just a great job being done by the guys behind the chutes, putting the dummies on bulls. Been moving things along all day pretty quickly. Hasn't been a lot of pauses or hesitation in the show, and makes a great show for the crowd in attendance. A lot of folks from the Decatur County Fair coming over to take a seat in the arena here and watch a little action. Might be the first time ever they've been seeing futurity bulls in competition with dummies on their back.
You always watch this pretty colored up bull right here. Kind of falls out there, really gets into a spin, but he really lacks in what you call degree of difficulty and intensity. Yeah. Exactly. So you know, he's going to lose some points. He gains a lot of points in the spin category compared to the last one, but he doesn't have just a ton of kick in the back end. Just kind of a bull, just falls out there and starts bucking. Nothing really special. So, you know, he'd probably be in that really low 80s.
Yeah, I mean, the good news about a bull like that is you could probably buck him 100 times in a row and you're going to get that same kind of trip. But like I said, it's just lacking the intensity and degree of difficulty.
Exactly.
Good pair coming up here now for Kurt and Jamie Cheek. First bull out 22. Hang time finishing second in the MBBA event in Elroy. Once again, Grand Auctions Bill, 4th bull out, would currently be your unofficial leader. And once again, scores here, if you're just joining us for the futurity and did not see the pre-futurity earlier on today, scores are not handed in until the end of the competition, but on the positive end, they had a secretary, I guess is Randy's, what's Randy's wife's name?
Jenny.
Jenny Shippey.
Jenny Shippey.
Just did a great job. She had the scores posted within about 20 minutes.
Hey, Mr. Chick,
There's a nice little calf right there. Jumped out, has some kick and speed, intensity. You know, kind of faked one way and went back the other. Took him a jump or two to get back into spin, but just really nice calf overall right there.
So that was hang time. Another nice one coming up for the Cheeks here in Hair Trigger. Bull number 229. Bull that we just saw hang time with that decent trip finished 3rd in Elroy. This bull finished 2nd in Elroy, so should be back-to-back solid efforts for the Cheeks, Kurt, and Jamie.
As we kind of compare that bull to the bull Grand's Auction Bill earlier, you know, they're going to be fairly similar in points. You know, it kind of be just up to the judge's personal opinion as to which one's the best there. Both of them showed good qualities, and they each did things that kind of would make the judges mark them right there in that mid-80 section, 85, and maybe just a tick higher than that. But right around there, both those bulls, good solid bulls.
Spoke to Cord during that interview about how you felt that Sarah was the driving force behind the McCoy Ranch operation, and you felt that Cord was nothing more than a lazy lackey out
come on
there.
now.
I think he took some slight offense to that. I'm not 100% sure, but
I appreciate that.
Cord is red enough and turned it another shade of red when I said Hargis made that comment, but just telling it like it is.
We see a bull right here that almost kicks so hard he kind of gets down on his. We kind of had a little mix up in the back pins right there, but
Heads up, boys.
guys were kind of quick on the trigger. But anyways, as you'll watch this replay right there, the calf kicks so hard it kind of goes down his front forehead there and kind of misses his feet and really kind of throws him off of his timing and everything else. He may not have wanted to spin anyways, but that sure enough kind of checked him out of it.
There was a foul at the game, they're saying, so we're going to rebuck that bull right now.
We're rebucking that bull, Billy Jack, bull 25 that went out third. That's the bull that sort of leaned out on a chute gate and sort of fell out at a chute. So they're giving him a rebuck. Why would they be doing that, Jared?
Well, you know, the only time you're going to get a rebuck is if there's a machine malfunction in the dummy, or they're going to say it's the gate man's fault. They're either claiming the gate man opened the gate too fast without the flank man calling for the bull, or it may just accidentally popped open. So not exactly sure which way it is, but if it has anything to do with the bull owner caused the problem, then you don't get a rebuck. But if it's something that's completely out of your control, then that's when you have a possibility of a rebuck.
Now, certainly we've all seen rebucks. A lot of times it does come out for the positive where the bull doesn't seem fazed by having to go through the whole chute process and expending energy for a second time. Sometimes the bull just falls flat. So it'll be interesting to see how Billy Jack, the Up North Cattle Company entry, does here as he gets a second chance. It was kind of strange when the gate, I mean, he just sort of fell out sideways.
Yeah, definitely. You rarely see that. You know, usually, and I say flank man, actually we have a woman flanking this bull right here. So, but usually you're going to make sure that bull's looking in the right direction. He's not leaning and everything's kind of set because where here in the futurity you have, as the owner and flank person, you have 100% control for when that gate opens.
Well, good decision there to protest and ask for that rebuck. Bull showed us what he could really do on that trip. One of the top bulls we've seen so far this afternoon.
You're right, Jeff. That's a really nice built bull, really stout. I like the way when he came out earlier, the way he looked, and he come out and he gets in the air. You know, he's got some spin right there. Pretty nice bull.
Let's go back to order. Partners Pride, Stoltzfus, Brainhart, Maxwell, and Thomas. That's a mouthful.
Couple of bulls for Ivan Stoltzfus, Brian Holt, Maxwell, and Thomas. Partners Pride first up.
Here's one of the first bulls that you see multiple partners on, and we'll see that sometimes in the business. You know, one person may not necessarily want to own a bull outright. If I've got a little money spent on bucking bull, but I don't have the ranch and the time to take care of them, you're going to hire a guy like Stoltzfus and put him in on the bull, and then get a couple of your buddies in on, and that way you kind of split up the expenses, and it's just really kind of a fun way to come out here and watch your bull buck for the day.
If you're contemplating getting involved in the business and you're looking for a trainer, train futurity bulls, especially up in this neck of the woods, I'd certainly go to a guy like Ivan who trains along with his son-in-law Darren. He's just got a beautiful indoor arena, really nice spread here in Leon, Iowa, and Decatur County. Takes just outstanding care of the bulls, and bulls have shown results, including his ABBI champion Amigo too. Nice bull.
Good job.
I think that bull was wanting to turn back just right there in the gate, but when he comes out, he's so close to the pins right there and that other gate right there. See, he kind of was too close, so then he had to take a couple of jumps out and then get back into it. It's really kind of going to affect the score. You know, if he would have been able this last couple of seconds to do that right there in the gate, he'd been the hands-down leader so far. But even so, I think he's still going to end up, for right now, being in the money placings.
Another Stoltzfus Buckers entry coming up next. Brand 243, My Sleeper.
And, Jeff, if you're going to name a bull My Sleeper, he better be pretty good.
Well, it could be sleeper in that he's stockpiling the bull there, that the bull's real good, or maybe he just big old lazy bull. I doubt that, though.
Yeah, that's kind of in this business, the nickname for a bull, you're kind of hiding back and waiting until later to call him a sleeper, so we'll see which way this one goes.
So Ivan did not have a tremendous amount of luck in the pre-futurity event that took place earlier today, but shows real well with that partner's pride. And let's see if he could put together some back-to-back good performances.
Tell you what, that red bull that just went was, I mean, that was a really, really nice bull. When you talk about the tools to be a bucking bull, I mean, he had every single one of them. I guarantee you when that bull has his day, he's probably going to be up there in the high 80s or possibly a 90. Hey, sure enough, that was a good bull right there. He pretty much did it all. He's going to be a contender for the leader as of right now. You know, he had a little more juice and speed and fire and got right into a spin and stayed in a spin. He kind of had a couple jumps where he wasn't quite as good as the first ones, but either way, a pretty nice bull right there, Jeff.
Kept the intensity up, but the kick kind of flattened out at the end. Got those real good kicks in there, and then sort of. So Ivan Stoltzfus, a couple of nice back-to-backers here. DJ Cattle Company now with 3 entries in a row. 202 coming up first on the right side.
Darren Yoder, another guy doing double duty here. He's putting the dummy on. I see the stickers on it. It's a refurbished dummy from buckandbullpro.com, but also Mr. Yoder's putting the flanks on some of these bulls as well. So he's having to strap that dummy on, then take a step back and put the flank on as well. So the guy's kind of doing it all right here.
4 or 5 bulls currently out of the first 14 we've seen contending, I think, for the lead. Pretty tight competition. Could just about throw a blanket over those 4 or 5 top bulls in terms of scores.
Yeah, a lot of times that'll kind of boil down to just a tad bit of personal preference on the judges. You know, some guys like to see more leap, some more spin. So it kind of depends. You know, even though you're supposed to, all 5 categories supposed to be weighed out evenly. You know, everybody's different in their opinion on what a bucking bull is. So some guys may like them fast spinners better, and some guys may like the bulls that get in the air a little more.
So getting ready to buck 202. Nice crowd in attendance this afternoon to watch the 2-year-olds buck. Man, if that was a 10-second buck, I think we might have had a new leader, but that's not the way it is. Took him a while to get into gear, Jerry.
Yeah, that's a juicy little bull right there. And you'll see some bulls are out of one side of the bucking chutes or the other. This guy was out of the right, and he kind of wants to turn back to the left right there, you know, and then finally comes back to the right. So, you know, as a bull trainer, sometimes that's difficult to figure out where to put the bull because, like him, he wants to go both directions. So you put him coming out from his right side first or left side first, and here, you know, you could say give an argument for either way.
DJ Cattle Company continues with 204, their next entry, 204. Once again on Buck and Bull TV this evening at 5:55 Central Time. Big boys in action. Derby and Classic 3- and 4-year-olds. as well as a maturity for bulls of any age past that. Jerry Hargis will be taken to the back of the chutes a few times this evening, as he's brought, I think, 3 bulls from back home to compete in the Donnie Gay Buck and Bull action tonight. So we'll have 45 riders here, most of them local talent from the Midwest. A chance to see, last week we saw a lot of those Southwest bull riders. This week we'll have a chance to see a lot of local homegrown Midwest bull riders. Interesting.
Yeah, very. That bull was so amped up, ready to go. As soon as he heard that great gate crack, he was trying to get after it. Darren Yoder, flank man there, did a great job. Right here you see him holding that tail in there, trying to get that bull where he doesn't come out backwards. You know, you want that bull to come out the right way. And another bull that, talk about which delivery you put him on, the right or left, that bull kind of wanted to change it up and go both directions. So just a wired up, amped up little bull, and really, really wants the buck. Just can't quite just get right out there and get into spin that you kind of need to do to score really good.
DJ's third and final entry, 264, coming up next. Once again, big month planned on Buck and Bull TV this coming August. In addition to seeing this event done in its post-production format with some enhanced graphics and interviews, such as the one we did with Cord McCoy, you're going to see some studio-produced programming in our Dirt Show. Going to see a great piece on Gene Baker out at his Homestead Genetics Ranch in Anston, Texas. I'm going to have the opportunity to hear a great interview with Jerome Davis. So a lot of exciting events coming your way on Buck and Bull TV. A lot of great programming in August. Buck and Bull TV going to a subscription-based service in August. And if you'd like to know more about that and get all the details, go to our homepage right here. We're watching this, buckandbulltv.com. And you'll see in the box there information on the subscription end of services as Buck and Bull TV goes to subscription in August. And we ask you to join us because we're really just getting started, just getting ramped up with the amount of coverage we're going to have for you on Buck and Bull TV.
It was kind of interesting to see, Jeff, all 3 of these bulls from DJ Cattle were out of what we call the right-hand delivery. Their right side is facing the arena and goes out first, and all of them end up turning back to the left. So it's kind of curious if they'll keep him out there and left. But once this bull gets in a spin, he's got a lot of intensity right there. Doesn't get up in the air real high, but a ton of intensity for these futurity bulls that usually marks really good. But we'll just have to see if the judges dock him much for taking about a second or two to get into it.
Entry coming up next on the right-hand side for Daniel Johnson, 662 Caveman coming up next.
.662 Caveman, Daniel Johnson, Weaver, Iowa. I'll say a huge thank you to Gilbert Home Comfort, Long Creek Outfitters, Delta Metals, your custom roof panel supplier, Leon Napa.
So once again, some of the bulls we've been looking at so far that would probably be towards the top of the leaderboard now. Grand Auctions Bill, Billy Jack, Hang Time. Might have to throw in Ivan Stolfis's first bull, Partners Pride, up there if we're looking to throw together a top 5.
Type of bull that at one point in time right there had a ton of kick. He just another one of those lacking in the spin department, but has all the kick in the world that he needs.
Oh, it's 662 Caveman. Going to be coming up next, 294. So we're going to move back to the left side. Brian Wires. Wires had a couple of bulls entered earlier today in the 2-year-old event. Yearling event, excuse me.
Moving along, pretty good pace right here. You know, getting that dummy on there, getting them in and out, coming out of the arena pretty good. Overall, good crew right here by Ivan Stolfus.
Darren Yoder will sleep well tonight. He's just been all over the place the last couple of days.
I forgot that DJ Cattle Company is actually Darren himself and his family.
That's right, because he was flanking all those bulls too. Yeah.
Yeah, his wife Janice, I think, is where the D&J comes from. He flank man for Stolfus and then also for himself.
Gonna be the next one with Buck.
That's right, Darren's wife, indeed, Janice, DJ.
294.
It's another one of those bulls, Jerry, just probably go out and do that same pattern over and over again, but not get much value out of it.
Yeah, nice little bull right here. You know, just kind of jumps out there and a couple jumps and gets into a spin. You know, nothing fantastic. Doesn't get really ranking. Doesn't have a ton of intensity, but you know, just pretty much a good solid bull all day long.
Brian Wires' second entry of the afternoon is 7:42. Next bull up in the chute. Jerry's staying at a very pleasant little hotel here in Leon. Executive producer Joe Walters and myself staying up in Osceola, where the woman was yelling at Joel for not parking to her exact specifications and instructions. I don't understand. I thought it was the hospitality industry. Well, maybe she just didn't like Joel. I don't know. You ever get yelled at for parking in the wrong place in a hotel?
Not yet. Oh man, I tell you what, that calf was really doing good, and then towards the end he kind of just slacked off, and it's like he
took like a little misstep.
Yeah,
there.
he just kind of lost his intensity there for a little bit, and I'm sure the judges have knocked him just a little bit, but calf was really bucking right here, you know, really getting there, and right there you kind of see him just kind of just kind of slack for just a hair, and sometimes that's all it takes to get yourself out of first place.
So those were the two entries for Brian Wires. Now Cord McCoy coming up. 5 bulls he brought here for the futurity, as well as some bulls tonight for the Classic Derby. 222 Mommy Makeover will be first. Owned by Cord McCoy, Bud and Beth Smith. Cord taking a lot of pride, Jerry Hargis, in the breeding program that he's developing over at the McCoy Ranch, and feels that he's put together the foundation that's going to lead to many years of success.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. You know, they're the kind of people that they're going to research and put a lot of time and effort into picking the right breeding bull to put out there on their cows.
Cord McCoy, Bud and Beth Smith. 222.
Cord, one of the guys, I mean, Cord's been in the business for a long time on the breeding and contracting end, but one of a number of former and current PBR stars that have gone into that end of the business. L.J. Jenkins, Mike White, of course.
Hey, right here you got a really, really stout bull, you know, could jump up there in one of those money holes and maybe even possibly challenge for the first place lead right there. I mean, beautiful looking bull. If you look at him coming across the arena, a lot of muscles. Watch this replay here. The first jump has a lot of kick and extension. You know, after that he loses his extension, but he keeps it going with his intensity. He gets in the air, that buck, comes up in the back end, you know, just a really, really good bull right there.
The Cord McCoy, Bud and Beth Smith partnership continues on the second bull here, 262. Not ready to be nice. Next bull up to buck.
Not ready to be nice.
I wonder how they got those names. You go from Mommy Makeover to Not Ready to Be Nice. Where's those come from?
262. The brand on this one.
You know why Cord really annoys me?
Let's hear it.
He likes to wear white.
Yeah.
He always wears white shirts. They're always perfectly starched. He never gets dirty. I can lean on a post here and my white shirt will be filthy.
I know it.
Well, it doesn't really annoy me about him, but something I should discuss with him, though.
See the techniques on how to keep your shirt clean.
How to keep your shirt clean like that. Whoop. Ooh.
This bull doesn't live up to his hauling partner out there. Not quite as good, you know. Doesn't really get anything going. It lacks in the kick and spin department, but at least he's got one. You know, Mommy Makeover did extremely good, so at least he's got one of the 5 already that we know is probably going to place.
Now, just watching Cord's body language there, Jerry Hargis, it just led me to believe that for whatever reason he wasn't expecting a huge amount out of that bull.
Yeah.
How do you normally determine when you're going to enter a bull?
Well, you know, like this event here, it's right here, hometown, locally for his wife, you know, so they've been here. And so probably a deal where you want to, you know you're coming up, so might as well bring a whole truckload of bulls here. And, you know, these are a little bit cheaper entry fees, so you can kind of afford to bring a lot of bulls. And most people, they want to make sure a bull's really good before they take them away from home. And that bull may not have been their best one, but they're figuring, hey, we're already bringing a whole trailer load, might as well throw this guy on.
Competition shot there. Next coming up, Cord McCoy, Nina Webb bucking bulls, No Man's Land, the name of this one.
And also, like he was telling us earlier, you know, he's also got some fraternity bulls that he sent with his dad, Denny, down to Palestine to the other UBVI events. So he's in 2 UBVI events this weekend. And, you know, he kind of wanted to send his bulls that's already made money, send them down there because he's thinking the competition may be a tad tougher down there because there's probably going to be more good bulls. I'm sure here there'd be just as many of the top-end bulls, but down there in Palestine, I mean, you know everybody shows up is going to bring a pretty good bull.
UBBI by and far the busiest of all the major buck and bull associations. Man, they just have competitions, seems like nearly every week to 2 weeks throughout the whole season.
Hey, you're definitely right. Well, I tell you what a kick. Golly. That bull has got some potential to be really good. They had a ton of kick coming out of there. I was hoping to get into a spin just a tad earlier, and once he does, he loses spin just for one jump, but then comes around, and, I mean, look at this kick right there. That bull, pretty nice. The only thing he doesn't do is he has a hesitation just right there, but then gets right back into it. I mean, really nice bull.
So Cord with both No Man's Land and Mommy Makeover, a couple of nice bulls here that be up towards the upper climbs of the leaderboard. Ninja up next, Cord McCoy, Wayne, and Nancy Decker. 298 the brand.
You talk about breeding programs. You look at the ABBI papers on a lot of Cords bulls, and you don't see a lot of what you'd call big name bulls. You know, you're not going to probably see an I'm a Gangster or a bull that you really know. But I tell you what, they've been doing it so long that they know what bulls to breed to. It may only be bull McCoy 111, but Cord knows that bull produces good and crosses good on certain cows. So no matter what, they're still going to be bred really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, they brought 5 bulls, and there's at least 3 so far. It's really good. Cord just showed up with a good set of futurity bulls.
Ninja, another bull that's going to move up towards the upper climbs of the leaderboard there.
Go to 23, Pretty Boy.
Going to change deliveries for Cord McCoy's final bull over to the right side. Cord McCoy, Kevin Graber, bull named Pretty Boy. 25 of 45. Going to do a quick drag after this.
This will be Pretty Boy. 5 grand, 23.
Kind of touch again on which delivery. We'll see them coming out of different deliveries. This gate here, it's going to open up to where the bull's right side is leaning towards the arena. It's called the right-hand delivery, and it really depends on the bull himself. Usually when a bull comes out there right out of the gate and wants to turn back right there to the right, you're going to put him over there on the right-hand delivery, just kind of help him out. That way that the chute gate's not in his way, and he can pretty much start right out of the gate and get it on right there.
On the World Wide Web.
Appreciate all the mentions Buck and Bull TV getting here from the announcing crew and the arena in the Decatur County Fairgrounds. As we mentioned on the earlier telecast, just a nice little, what better description to say than handmade kind of arena, kind of a picturesque old arena built in the 60s.
Bulls out of the right, but end up turning back to the left. Tell you what, 4 out of their 5 bulls are pretty nice bulls. This bull's a little weaker than the last few, but then he tries to follow up right there and shows us pretty good potential right there.
Well, one thing I can say, Jerry, about Cord's bulls, they are in impeccable condition, each and every one of them. Just a lot of muscle with really very little fat.
They are. They look fantastic. I tell you what, Cord's one of those guys that goes out and has a production sale every year during the PBR finals, and has a lot of partners on these bulls. And they go with a guy like Cord because he's got a past. He's won at these classes of bull competitions, and then, like you say, another thing, he keeps his bulls in pristine condition.
We're going to just take a quick commercial break while we drag the arena. Jeff Bressler, Jerry Hargis in Leon, Iowa, as we are watching Midwest Buck and Bull Association action on Buck and Bull TV. Quick drag of the arena, quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to our 52,272,000 square foot nutrition center, the home of the checkerboard. 1,200 acres of working farmland where we serve 3,000 animals every day to make each one the best they can be. It's more than a nutrition center. It's a 1,200-acre foundation for integrity, innovation, performance, and quality. The proof is in the numbers. Over 20,000 studies and more than 100 patents to perfect taste, nutrition, digestion, and performance. That's over 85 years of continuous learning, and it won't stop anytime soon. More than 100 employees in the pursuit of animal excellence year-round. We stand proudly with the checkerboard. It represents the 100 million animals we feed every day, and the reason we never stop striving to deliver what they need to grow and thrive, to produce and win. The proof is in the numbers. And it begins here with us. 1,200 acres, 9 squares, 1 commitment. Look for the checkerboard. It's the only check you need.
Free fall training!
It's how Advanced Auto Parts trains our staff to install your battery fast and free.
Battery testing and installation, fast and free. Advanced Auto Parts. Service is our best part.
Wipers, go!
So went to a commercial break and quick drag of the arena. We're ready to get back into action. Watching Jerry Hargis, Randy Shippey doing some work around the arena. Randy Shippey of Shippey Rodeo, Shippey Buck and Bulls up here in in the Midwest. One of the driving forces behind Midwest Buck and Bulls, and I think that's because he really wanted to see Buck and Bull competition in his own backyard that he could bring bulls to.
Yeah, you're definitely right. You know, years ago, we used to see Randy Shippey at every single futurity down south. I mean, you're talking about a 14 to 18-hour drive for that guy every time he comes down, and he'd come down, you know, a couple times a month. You know, it really wears on a guy and his bulls. So, you know, he's had a great idea having these events up here, and they've really grown over the last few years. And like I say, right here, we got over 110 bulls entered this weekend. Just really goes showing and shows that there's a lot of people up here to put on events.
You know, one of the interesting things you're talking about, Horace, Jerry, and I'll allude to this with Randy Shippey, is, you know, you're saying that when you come to an event, you really need to bring a number of bulls with you to put the odds in your favor of at least collecting a check. And, you know, Shippey, so many times over the last couple of years, he's so far away from these major competitions. A lot of times I'll see him hauling only one bull down, like to an ABBI. That's tough.
That is tough, definitely. Whoa.
Man.
Well, he couldn't quite keep it up every single jump. Had one off jump there, but wow, really shiny little calf right there. Starts out really, really good.
It looks like he stopped there for a second and said, am I really doing that?
Yeah. Hey, what
Takes
happened?
that pause. Man.
That'll
That's a
kind of
bull
hurt
that's
his
got a
chances,
bit of that
but
wow factor we always
yeah.
talk about.
Definitely has a couple jumps there that really wow, but
So good start for Twisted W. Buck and Bull's dual effort here. Their next bull that's going to come up, bull named General Lee. Twisted W. Buck and Bull second entry.
the bull puller's horse is having enough of him, putting him in danger's way right there. This guy's kind of cutting across right in front of the bulls every time and getting his horse hooked a couple times. And horse is taking matters into his own hands and giving a little hind end kick right there.
cream of the crop in the buck and bull industry.
I was talking to Joel
The Midwest is here.
when we were driving in the truck. I always love Iowa. I had a chance to broadcast some minor league baseball here a number of years ago in Davenport, Iowa, which is part of the Quad Cities, and just from end to end of the state, just really nice, nice folks. The old Quad City Cubs. General Lee coming up next.
Go to 0-1, General Lee, Twisted W, Buck and Bulls. Lot 1, General Lee, Twisted W, Buck and Bulls.
You know, it was interesting, Jerry, when I broadcast minor league baseball, you had announcers of all different levels.
Uh-huh.
And we're broadcasting a game. It's usually a solo broadcaster because that was an A baseball team. I remember I was broadcasting once, and I don't really remember what city we were in, but I was like right on top of the announcer next to me. There wasn't, and he called every pitch wrong. He'd call a curveball, a fastball. He'd call a sinker, a knuckleball, and I said something to him during one of the breaks when we both took commercial breaks. I said, you know, you're way off in your calling the pitches. And he said, it's a radio. Nobody's can see anyway. What the?
He's throwing any name out there.
Yeah, you're going to become the lead broadcaster for the Chicago Cubs one of these days, man. General Lee.
Well, General Lee turned back right there in the gate. Was getting after it pretty good and then switched up, went the other way. Good solid bull. I don't think he's good enough to compete with some of those good bulls we've just seen recently. But pretty nice bull, you know, as we're watching back right here. But that's kind of unfortunate sometimes if you follow up a really good set of bulls like we saw about 6 in a row that all had a lot of talent, and then you show up, and even though you might have a pretty good day, it's tough to compete against those other guys.
And one flaw I could have against this bull is just if he had a little more intensity, I think he'd be pretty dynamic, but sort of just goes out and does what he's got the athletic ability, but just sort of goes out and does what he has to do.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
So those were the 2 entries for Twisted W Buck and Bulls. Phenom coming up next. Laurie King combination 212, the next bull up.
Working those minor league events, kind of like when they send you these Buck and Bull TV events. Have to work with a D-string, Jerry Hargis over here.
No, not quite. Not quite. But I'll never forget that. We're on the radio. What difference is it?
Hey, that's a good way of looking at it, though, I guess. Hey, they're at home. They're not going to know.
Nothing's like traveling with Buck and Bull TV. You know, one of the interesting things about this industry, Jerry, is you're really flying by the seat of your pants a lot when we broadcast, because from event to event, just the quality of the secretarian and the way the guys work the back, you just don't know what you're walking into sometimes.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, we're really fortunate here. They're going exactly by the books, and every bull's in order, whereas last weekend, you know, they were just any bull that would think about loading, they were getting loaded, and so they were in no kind of order at all. But you know, you really appreciate a good crew when you do find them.
212, Phenom and Laura King. Minnesota.
That bull had some potential, definitely, as we kind of saw. One of the things with these young bulls that, you know, the flank man called for the gate, and right when he did, that bull turned his head the wrong direction. As you'll see, he's looking at the back of the chute. You know, it was looking correctly, then some of the guys' attention looked the other way, and really has a lot of stuff come across there and gets it to spin pretty good. But, you know, once they go out there 3 or 4 seconds before they spin, it's tough to get a good judge's score.
That gate sort of snuck up on him for sure.
Just lays it on.
Another Phenom Buck and Bull entry along with Jay Allen's Pro Bowl team, 209 coming up next. Tell us a little about that Jay Allen deal, Jerry.
Yeah, I tell you what, anybody that watches NFL is probably a fan of Jared Allen, or at least know who he is. You know, he's one of those guys. He's definitely a unique character and personality, and the kind of guy that people like to root for, in my opinion. But Jared's came into the Buck and Bull business by storm. You know, he's bought. We'll see one of his bulls later in the Classic that he paid $200,000 for. Just a really, really good bull. He's came together with Phenom Genetics and put together a truckload of bulls that they're going to haul up all over the United States and show up and have some really good ones. You know, it's nice to see when you get people from all walks of life coming in the buck and bull business. You know, we've got Major League Baseball players, NFL stars, hockey stars, you know, guys that are the best at what they do in their sport, and then they come over here and compete. And of course, that winning personality and winning traits that they have just flows right over in this business too. I mean, they don't want to do it unless they're winning, and so they most of the time do a great job.
Probably the most notable sports figure that entered the buck and bull industry was Curtis Lecision, who's still involved in the industry. Curtis played hockey for the Stanley Cup winning Colorado Rockies.
Oh, buddy, that's a good one. 209, Phenom, and Jared Allen.
Well, I'll tell you what, just like we talked about, Jared Allen and Phenom Genetics, I mean, they come out with a stinger right here. I think you're probably looking at the new leader. Watch this bull right here, just bam, I mean, right out of the chute. He gets into it. He's got a lot of kick, speed, action. You know, he's getting up in the air. I mean, he's doing everything. He's doing it with intensity, and he's doing it right there without any hesitation.
Man, and that bull, without any hesitation, as you mentioned, he was faced right into the 90 there and just backed himself off a hair and just didn't lose a beat.
Yeah, he did right there. He's got his nose bent completely back around him up in that fence and just keeps getting after it. I mean, really, really outstanding bull. I would think the judges will definitely have this bull in the lead now.
Yeah, it looked like probably Grand's well, there was a number of bulls here that could have potentially been in the lead, probably 4 or 5 of them. But like Jerry said, this 209 of Phenom, Jared Allen's Pro Bull team looks indeed like he could be considered the current leader. 217 coming up next for Broken Arrow.
Broken Arrow S. 217 Broken Arrow S. Will be the next one.
Kind of interested to see. I'm wondering kind of who exactly this Broken Arrow S is. Yeah, the guy flanking for him is a previous, or may still be, a flank man for Chad Berger. You know, has some great PBR bulls, and I'm sure he's probably still working for Chad, but I'm kind of interested to see who he's also working for here.
We got entries for Broken Arrow and Broken Arrow S. I don't know what the difference is between those two operations, but 3 in a row for Broken Arrow S.
Yeah, you're right. We have a 3 and 1 and 4 with just the Broken Arrow, so maybe 2 different guys here, or possibly the same.
217 Broken Arrow S going to be the next one to us.
Kind of interesting looking behind the chute there. Just Solo is the flank man.
Yeah, they kind of abandoned ship on him right there.
Nice little bull.
Hey, really nice little bull. Has a lot of kick and speed. Pretty neat little dude right there.
Can't be doing that. That was a good one. 217 Broken Arrow S. Brought that one to us.
That is just kind of strange. It's very rare you just see the flank man standing alone.
Yeah, they kind of backed up and let him have it. I don't know
unless
if
he asked for it. I don't know.
He might have. That bull might have been a little hair trigger in the chute. So. Watch this replay one more time. And pretty good, solid bull. He should kind of fit right there in the pack with some of them other bulls that are going to be fighting for that 2nd to 5th position right there.
233 for Broken Arrow S coming up next. Number 30 of 45. Seen a pretty nice competition taking place here. Number of really equally matched bulls.
Our next is going to be 233, the Broken Arrow S.
I think much like the futurity, you're going to see that whole clump of bulls that will determine to be good bulls in that 84, 85 point range. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right, and Jeff. Yeah, we had one standout, and then we had probably 4 or 5 bulls that's all going to be right there close to each other. I guess we could take after your baseball announcer, and during the replays we could say, "Hey, look what just happened in the arena!" And just make up something that crazy just happened.
Radio is amazing. We could say there's 50,000 people in the stands and the rankest pen of bulls we've ever seen. I guess say whatever you want on the radio. It's true.
There you go.
I think I'll start announcing chess on the radio. It's something I know nothing about, but I could probably just say whatever I want because nobody could see the moves.
Yeah. Well, here you go, a juiced up little spinner right there. Gets going so fast he kind of tangles his front feet up a little bit, but really kind of a typical futurity bull. Just jumps out there and really gets spinning, really gets fast. Just doesn't get in the air a lot, which is going to hurt him a little bit, but
A pretty much flat kind of spinner there.
yeah.
Broken Arrow S's 289 next bull.
Go to 289, Broken Arrow S, 289. Broken Arrow S.
Second part of our triple header taking place now. Yearling bulls competing earlier this morning on Buck and Bull TV with 13X Purina athlete Jason Marbury winning that event. We're in the 2-year-old futurity competition now, and at 5:55 Central Time tonight, back with the Derby Classic and Futurity, with the bull riders being part of the Donnie Gay Championship bull riding as they're competing for points in that association.
Well, a little bull that after that first jump we thought was going to be really special, and then kind of faded off, and weak it up a whole lot. But bull's got a lot of athletic abilities. We'll see right there at the first jump, and unfortunately just gets flat and just kind of loses his figures knowing what he's doing.
Yeah, it gets flat. Looks like he starts resenting the dummy a little at the end there too. Like first couple of jumps, and I've had enough.
And he just falls down and just goes from bad to worse.
24 coming up next. Rusty Wade. This bull finished 4th in MBBA action in Fort Scott with 85 1/4 score.
Get the microwave in the time.
Normally you have a cough button at events. When you cough, you could hit the button and suppress your cough. But with Jerry Hargis, we need a food suppression button here. During our little break, did you scout out any food options here?
I scouted out. I didn't see much.
Maybe we should send down for a pizza.
That's a plan.
Rusty Wade's 24.
guess that that's a bull that's really bucked in the past. You know, he really had a lot of kick. He just didn't. He kind of did everything in slow motion right there. You know, a lot of kick coming around right there. You know, looked good, but he was just slow, just hesitating, and then kind of just quit the bit right there. You know, maybe a bull that's decided he's had enough with that dummy.
Another string of Broken Arrow bulls coming up next. 264, Devil's Cut. Got some real good ones coming up in the next batch. Bulls that have been succeeding in Midwest Buck and Bull Association action.
We've got a different flank man here than with Broken Arrow S. I'm guessing Broken Arrow is a different company here, even though the names are extremely similar.
That flank guy that was Broken Arrow S, did he do some work for the PBR? That's not.
Yeah, he used to be the guy that pulled the gate. Yeah,
gate guy.
Yeah,
he still
exactly
works.
right.
I thought he still works the back pen.
Yeah,
for
he
PBR.
still does. Like I say, he works for Chad Berger, hauling his bulls, a truck driver for him, still works the back pen, so we're still heavily involved in the PBR. You know, nice little ball that started out on fire and then kind of had those one or two jumps of hesitation like we've seen a few other bulls, you know. Just kind of going to hurt his score out there, right there. You know, you kind of see him really wanting to quit for a second and then kind of gets it back going, but definitely going to hurt his scores coming in from the judges.
Flankman there looking to try to get that extra quarter of a point by screaming behind the chute.
Yeah, clapping and holler at him, that doesn't always work.
I don't think it worked here for certain. BLT coming up next, S29 Broken Arrow.
Speaking of that, and speaking of Randy Shippey, he was, that I recall, one of the first people that really yelled and hollered when the bull was coming out. And he had futurity bulls bucking. When they started bucking, I mean, he's yipping and hollering. And I tell you what, I don't know if it helped the judges any, but made it sound a little better.
Now, the guy that was flanking a bull out in the arena to try to get the bull to go the out gate. He says, I know this bull. I'll get him out of the arena. A couple of minutes, he'll be out of the arena and saying, I thought I knew this bull, because this bull's got his eye on him.
I've seen that backfire.
I think it's ready to backfire. Yeah, don't worry, I know him.
That bull's fixing to know him really good.
You know it, man. He's just lining up.
We're going to see it. I think it's about time to get the horseback guy. There he goes. If that bull wanted him, he would have had him. He wasn't making too many fast moves. I don't know why this guy called the horseback off. But the bull owner called him off, so who knows? I mean, I'm thinking we need to get the show on the road and get the guy on horseback out here.
All they're doing is antagonizing this poor little bull here.
Yeah, he has, and when you get on the opposite side of the arena and gives attention, he has no clue the outgate's at the other end. He's not looking at all.
We need to call the Power Rangers.
Maybe it was a specialty act. I don't know. Safety man coming out again.
That's a tough job pulling bulls, and usually you're going to catch a lot of slack from the in-house announcer. You miss a couple, and here we go, playing the songs and giving you a hard time on the microphone. Better re-wrap.
Yeah.
Let that rope go. Let that rope go. Nope, you're not going to do it. Let it go. This is, we kid around a lot, Jerry Hargis, but this is relatively pitiful, if you ask me. Seriously, I don't think there's any place for a flank man to come jumping off the chute to try to get his bull out when you're really the safety man's the guy that's supposed to be in control in the arena, and then this other guy coming out here and just, or is that Randy?
Yeah, that's Randy.
That's Randy coming out and reaming on the bull. I don't know. Not the most brilliant moment in Midwest Buck and Bull Association history, if you ask me, just my opinion.
Thank you, man.
You know, I could see if you have the kind of bull where prior to the bull bucking, you say, guys, keep your heads up. This is what that bull's going to end up doing after the dummy comes off. But
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jeff.
S29 BLT up next for Broken Arrow.
Wondering what BLT stands for in this situation. You know what it usually
I
stands for.
know in your
but
mind what it stands for.
That's the first thing I think of.
Flanking up that bull. BLT coming up next.
That was S29 BLT of the Broken Arrow.
A decent bull comes out there, a few jumps, and gets back in spin, going back the opposite direction to the right. You know, just a good, solid bull. You know, he may sit in there in one of those bottom money placings, but not going to challenge for the lead. But you'll probably be on the lower end of the 80s right here.
Talk about a bull that can potentially challenge for the lead. It's the next bull up. That's S232 Red Rocket Broken Arrow entry. Second top in money winnings in 2014 in the Midwest Buck and Bull Association. Won in Fort Scott with an 88 1/4 points. So, bull that's proven himself in the past. See how he does here today in Red Rocket.
That last bull, if you're watching him on the replay, you know, it's kind of a lot of controversy about that flank in the back, hurting him or not. Well, that flank, you know, and everybody's got their different opinion and different styles on how they flank, but that flank was so loose,
Yeah.
it was basically falling off as the bull's bucking there. So, you know, to think that these things are just pulled really tight in them, that's absolutely incorrect. You know, it's no tighter than a man puts a belt on his waist.
When that bull came out of the chute, I held my breath for a second because it looked like that flank was going to give way.
And some of those bulls, you know, it just depends on the bull himself. You know, some of them perform really good with a light flank. You know, it gives them something to really kick at. And, you know, some of you need to squeeze it a little tighter, but it's never to the point that squeezing so tight that it's hurting the bull or keeping him from bucking, because that's the point. If you pull it too tight, it'll hinder him, and you definitely don't want to do that, especially when you're paying all this money for an entry fee. Oh, there we go, right there.
Nice.
You talk about a good bull right there. He came out there, took him about 2 or 3 jumps to get into it, but then once he gets in that spin, wow, he's really good. Has a ton of kick right there. Right here, you're watching. Well, that's a nice bull.
So another bull that looks like he can vault towards the top of the leaderboard. They're great out for Red Rocket.
Be interesting to see how the judges fit him in. You know, in my opinion, he's going to be right there about that second place. That bull of Phenom Genetics was just so good. He's going to have a hard time knocking him out of first, but should be a solid second-place bull right there.
Final Broken Arrow entry coming up, S2H. Who knows? This bull finished second in Midwest action in an event in Cologne, South Dakota. So could see two good ones back-to-back for Broken Arrow. And then coming up after that, one of Randy Shippey's bulls, Dixie Dynamite, who's the top money earner in 2014, the MBBA.
One interesting note, Jeff, is all of the bulls by Broken Arrow were raised by the Shippies, you know, Randy and Jenny Shippey. So, you know, we're watching these Broken Arrow bulls that are obviously owned by, you know, another person now, but all raised by the Shippies, come from the same ranch. And then we focus, you know, we go right into the next set of bulls is out of Shippey. So we're going to see about 7 bulls in a row that are all raised from the same ranch. He's got that rope wrapped every possible way around that bull. Really got to be careful not hurt him when they got him around all 4 legs and the head at the same time.
And you worry about that rope coming right up into his eye also.
Yeah. This is kind of the point that you just need to drop that rope and go get you another one and start over, because obviously it's not going to get any better here.
Man, that is all wrapped around him.
And the bull's obviously not going out of the arena
No.
doing what he's doing. I mean,
It's like when you get a ham at Christmas, you got to take that string off of him, and it's all wrapped around the ham. I mean, that's.
Yeah, it's wrapped every possible way you could get around him.
You notice I make that food analogy for you, Jerry.
That way I can comprehend it.
That's what I figured, a good visual for you.
So the first and second place overall bull in the standings of the MBBA are both Shippey raised bulls, and I was looking through the UBBI standings, and this next bull coming out, S224, Dixie Dynamite, is also 4th overall in the UBBI.
Wow.
So I mean, this bull is just really doing a fantastic job overall on the season. Just waiting on this bull to come out of the arena. You know, when a bull just has longer horns, he's got his head tucked right against that fence. I mean, it's just impossible to get a rope around his head when he's doing that. Hopefully he'll finally come out right here on his own.
So who knows up next? Just mentioned this bull had a second in South Dakota MBBA action.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. I was skipping ahead about that Dixie Dynamite.
Yeah, Dixie Dynamite coming up
after
next.
This bull here.
S2H, who knows the Broken Arrow? S2H, who knows?
Right there, not going to be a bull that places in the money anywhere close today. You know, has some kick going out across there, but that's about all he had going for him. So we'll have to go home and regroup on that guy right there and see how he progresses later on.
So coming up next, the bull that Jerry and myself have been talking about, S224, Dixie Dynamite, Shippey Taylor entry, top money winning bull in the MBBA in 2014, second in the first event of the season. I think finished second in Fort Scott. 4th up in South Dakota, has not won an event in the MBBA, but what this bull shows to me, Jerry, and hopefully we'll show here today, that he has what every buck and bull trainer is looking for, and that's consistency in a bull.
Yeah, you're definitely right. You know, when you get a young bull like this, it's really hard to find one that's going to do the same thing every time. It looks like Randy Shippey's found one in this bull.
Let's go to Dixie Dynamite, S224.
Randy's kind of a guy like Cord McCoy. He's really found a niche in the futurity system and breeds pretty much for that. You know, he's been going these futurities for many, many years and always had a lot of success everywhere he goes.
Didn't Shippey also have string that he brought out to rodeos and things at one time?
Yeah, he's pretty much done everything. Probably about 8 or 9, 10 years ago, he had a couple of really good classic bulls too.
Yeah, he did.
That Roper's Like Mike and Roper's Broke Leg. That Like Mike bull was a bull that competed till he was 10 plus years old. He eventually went on to CBRs and big yellow bull.
Randy Shippey, also one of those early innovators in the industry, in that he was looking to bring in partners into his operation that weren't necessarily brought up in the buck and bull industry, and didn't have ranches or the means to train their own bulls. I guess still puts together those kind of partnerships.
There we go with the hollering. He might
Didn't help him kick though.
He might have gave him an extra quarter point, who knows? But
helped him do everything but kick. But
yeah, bull, like you say, exactly right. That bull's doing a lot of things except his kick. He's not going to win here today, but he might catch a money placing right there. Turns back right in the gate and stays with it. Tell you, after those good set of McCoy bulls and the Broken Arrow bulls and the Phenom bull, has really been a stout pin at the top end.
Shippey Taylor partnership bulls back-to-back. S21 Bad Brindle coming up next. Bad Brindle 39 of 45. Once again, we're in one of those situations here where we're not able to give you the scores instantaneously. All the score sheets from the 4 judges accumulated at the end of the event, and then the results are tabulated. Results of the futurity here we will give you when we come back at 5:55 Central Time later this afternoon for the Classic Derby and Futurity, with Donnie Gay Championship Bull Riders vying for points in that one.
Well, we say, unfortunately, this bull comes out backwards. That's one thing as Flake Man, you try to keep from happening, but sometimes those bulls are acting up so much you have to just go ahead and call the gate, and it's kind of what they did here. The bull comes out backwards and starts spinning the opposite way of what he probably wanted him to. Kind of was doing a few things right after he got into it, but another bull that just didn't have the kick to go along with it.
S238 Trucker the Bucker. Final entry for Shippey Rodeo Bulls coming up next. Truck of the Bucker. Coming up after this bull, another bull that's placed. Still have a couple of solid bulls coming up here, so have not determined a winner by any means. There's still some strong bulls to compete. Still have not seen the funnel cake truck driving along the road here to the fairgrounds.
Well, Shippy's finally had a bull that had that kick, but didn't get into a spin as early as he needed to. So of the group of 3 bulls, they definitely all had the tools they needed, but didn't just all get them together in one complete package in one bull. Not a bad bull, you know, but goes out 3 jumps, and a lot of times, you know, 3 jumps out, the judges, especially on a futurity when you got a short whistle, you're probably not going to get scored high enough to jump in there and be the winner.
Liked him a lot better in the replay, but certainly not the type of bull that's going to be up there towards the top of the leaderboard by any means. Ace coming up next, 210, Scott Johnson. This bull had a top 5 finish, finishing 4th in MBBA event in Elroy. Big bull.
Really big stat bull. Yeah, I was up late one night a while back, and I saw, as seen on TV commercials, they have a homemade funnel maker. I think I'm about to order that for Christmas, send it to you.
Well, bring it to one of the events here. Man, come on, we need that powdered sugar on our pants.
The whole deal.
A little grease on the fingers
Oh,
here.
you got to have it.
Maybe next year I'll come with you here and we can lease a funnel
Oh, man,
cake
lease
truck.
one out. Yeah, we make a mint right here. I think my wife is glad they don't have the turkey legs. She says when I carry one of those around, I look like a caveman.
Dangerous.
She won't even walk next to me.
I never figured out how you can eat those things, though. They're bulky and
They're
greasy.
a mess.
And
Yeah, they're a mess. Big, stout, slow bull right there. He goes out there and gets right in the spin and just kind of goes through the motion. And, you know, Jeff, we'll see that a lot with these 2-year-olds that get that big, that fast. You know, they're really hard to be fast and intense when they get that big.
yeah, that dummy on their back just feeling like a fly. This bull probably ready to get tested with the cowboy.
This bull right here's got the Ace of Spades brand on his hip, come from Stephenville, Texas. Scott Akamaza raised him, but like I say, you know, they're kind of like a young kid that in junior high they're huge and big, and you know they probably just stick them on the line and help them block somebody. They're not fast and agile enough to be a running back, and it's kind of what you need in a bucking bull, a little quick running back type person.
JM Bucking Bulls double entry Omaha coming up first. We start to really wind things down. Bull 42 of 45. Once again, Bucking Bull TV coming back live, 5:55 p.m. Central Time. Bull riding. Classic, Derby, and Futurity. First time we've seen 2 bulls load in the chutes at the same time. The left side here. Next 2 bulls, one right behind the other.
Yeah, that bull in the second chute back was kicking and giving him fits in the back, and I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing he was just they were worried about him hurting himself in the back, so they went ahead and loaded him. You've got that plywood across the panels in the back, and he's kind of kicking and getting a little rowdy back there. Bucking Bull TV and funnel cakes.
And funnel cakes.
Drag a trailer behind the trailer.
I like that. Maybe we can make those mini donuts also that they have at some of the fairs. Get one of those little mini donut trucks.
Yeah. Bubba's way too full and fat to be bucking really good. You know, you see it a lot of times. You know, most of these bulls are slim and trim and lean. As we watch this bull rolling around the arena there, he just looks like he's just came off a round bale of hay and way too full to try to be bucking. And sure enough, just can't get any kick or anything going right there.
So J&M, another entry coming up here, 25 high voltage. This bull won the first MBBA event of 2014.
Joins up here with the Solstice Buckers, one of our guests, bringing some good bulls on Monday, 12 p.m. and 10 p.m.
Well, it's interesting that this bull's already been down the road and won an event. He's still so rowdy in the chutes. I mean, he's just giving everybody fits back there.
With some of the youngsters, many bull TV shows.
It's probably a good thing that one of the guys handling the dummy is built like an NFL linebacker. That bull come up and gave him a shot right in the chest, and he pretty much took it and kept going. So.
On RFD next Monday.
Man, Darren Yoder is no little guy, but even bringing it up, look at this dummy guy, man. He is big.
I'm
big
telling you,
boy.
he's a monster.
Prime candidate for our funnel cake business.
Yeah. He also doubles as the MBBA bouncer. So.
Could be.
It's only the back pins. Hey, that's enough water right here.
Might actually be the barrel that the barrel man uses tonight for the bull riding competition.
Just a few more animals left to go here in this classification. A few more chances for somebody to step up and compete against that really good phenom bull.
Well, the bull just went out and whoa, got the job done.
Did. I mean, really nice bull. You can definitely see where he's done good in the past at other competitions. You know, the only thing you could draw back on this bull is he didn't have just a ton of intensity, you know, but usually when those bulls get that high in the air and they float so long, it's really hard to stay intense doing it. But, you know, really good bull, had a lot of tools, you know, should be one that ranks right up there, you know, close to that third place position or maybe a chance of being a little higher.
Now let's see if we have an interesting scenario develop here as we come down to the last two bulls, 44 and 45. If you recall, if you were with us earlier today during the yearling competition, you saw Backlund Bull Company come on with the last two bulls, Jerry Hargis, and they ended up finishing third and fourth. So can Backlund Bull come up with another ace in a hole, so to speak, here with the last two bulls and crack the leaderboard? First one is the Beast 02.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jeff. I mean, they showed up the yearling futurity class, the last two guys out, and placed right there in the top 5 with both of them. And you think with a name like the Beast, that ought to be a pretty good little bull right here.
Let's do it with the Beast, Backlund Bull Company. On 2.
Well, the Beast's not probably going to do near as good as we thought he might have a chance at. Didn't have the kick. You know, we've just seen several really, really good bulls. So when you stack this bull up against those, you just can't quite compete today. You know, may have a better day down the road, but today's not it.
Man, he just did not have the best position in the box coming on out, all twisted in there.
Glenn, if you just make a pass by the outgate, I'm sure he'll find it.
So one more bull remaining, and that's a bull named Biodiesel 382, Backlund Bull Company.
Thank you. All right, our final two-year-old 382 Biodiesel.
Have you tracked down any corn dogs? Do they have corn dog? We're in corn country.
We are in corn country. You know, the only thing I saw out here was hamburgers. I hadn't even seen the good roasted corn like you usually see. I think you're onto something. I mean, we can pull a couple,
Pull three
three trailers out
mini
here.
donuts, corn dogs, and funnel cakes.
Probably make more money than the BBTV events pay, though.
6 o'clock tonight, we're going to have the classic.
Put that on the list for next year.
With actual bull riders. You won't see the CC riders, you'll see the bull riders. Some of the best in the business. Come to get on some of the great young bulls in the Midwest. One of the great things is Stoltz's Buckers bring some of the best entertainment as well. Two-time NFR entertainer will be your barrel man, funny man, specialty actor, you name it.
Really cutting up, acting up in that bucking chute right here, last bull to go.
He also performed for the President of the United States. So we bring the best of the best here to Leon. Make sure you stop back by.
Once again, this is the last bull competing. And when we have our 6 o'clock Central Time performance, we will give you the results of the 2-year-old futurity.
Leon, Iowa. You can watch it in China if you'd like. buckandbulltv.com. I want to say thank you to Commercial Roof Coatings.
Once again, our appreciation to the announcing staff here in Leon for mentioning Buck and Bull TV a number of times.
And that's your hometown, Ivan Stoltz and Darren Yoder. Right here, Leon, Iowa, Gilbert Home Comfort, heating and AC specialist, Long Creek Outfitters, Delta Metals, Leon Napa, Auto Parts, Casey's General Store. Let's do it.
Didn't have the luck they did in the yearling class. That
No,
bull
that's for
comes
sure.
out terrible, you know, open the chute gate, and he just kind of runs out the front and jams himself up, hits his shoulder and everything else. And by the time he comes back and decides to get into it, he's a little flat. So probably not going to earn a check here today, but he did in the last yearling class. So at least he's not leaving home empty-handed.
So, Jerry Hargis, our daytime action coming to a conclusion here as we've gone through the yearlings and the 2-year-olds. Back at 5:55 Central Time for our pre-buck show. Once again tonight, Derby, Classic, Futurity, starting all at 5:05. TV. Until then, on behalf of my broadcast partner Jerry Hargis, Jeff Bressler, wishing you a good afternoon.